It's weird how they've got just these little ways of like, kind of, like you said, it's almost like they get you to work for them. You know?
It's like, I guess the idea is that like it gets to the point where everyone's being tracked at such a level that depending on what I'm paying attention to at any given moment, I'm making somebody powerful.
Sure.
More or less
or like
powerful.
getting somebody money. Yeah.
But Facebook looks at your internet browser cookies and it throws up the advertisements on the same bar from whatever you've been looking at all day. For example, my mom sent me an email that she bought my stepdaughter's writing desk, and now every time I go on my Facebook, it has up there Wayfield furniture where she bought it from. They have advertisements from it because she sent me an email.
Well, and here's the interesting thing is that the ability to do that has revolutionized advertising.
Yeah.
It is way more effective to show tailored ads than it is to just show the same ads to everybody. No. I mean, who knew, right? I mean, it seems like a really obvious thing, but the fact is that it's a fairly recent innovation in advertising, and it's completely enabled by technology. You know, and it's only going to get more. It's only going to get more fine-grained, not less. I mean, the future, the ability to mine that data and to make connections between seemingly unrelated data points and draw conclusions from those. The ability to do that is available now greater than ever before. And it will continue to be easier and easier to do. Eventually it'll be to the point where you and I will even be able to find, and it's a scary thing to think about, but like you think about how much information about a person is online. Let's say I met you from like an internet dating site and I wanted to make a first date that would impress you or ingratiate you to me. Like,
I knew somebody used to do that. It's so creepy.
And like, but you can do that though, right? Like, isn't that scary to think about? That like it removes like this well, not removes, I guess, but it like draws into question anyway, like the genuineness of what everybody is doing, because like, I mean, for all you know,
well, it's like, okay, so but then the really scary part is when it becomes so socially acceptable to the point like where currently or forever, if your loved one tells you, oh, I like this, this, and this, then you're expected to know that kind of information when you give them a gift. So when you're expected to look into them online or to know that because, oh, you didn't care about me enough to even look.
Sure.
Then that's
there's a lot of vanity. There's a lot of vanity involved with that. I mean, like I have a blog, right? And so I'm a big nerd, and so it's like I'll say to her, this is my girlfriend. I'll say to her like, "Oh, you didn't read that blog post of mine? Like, what the heck? I wrote it.
I'm supposed to read everything.
Yeah, well, duh. I thought that was
He's like,
implied.
you didn't read that short story. I'm like, no, but I read your fucking novel. Like,
yeah.
Damn it, man, I just can't win. I just swore a lot, and I told you not to swear to me.
I know, right?
I think what's really going to be scarier is the point where we have to use. Facebook already started it, where if you don't use your real name and they can figure out that you didn't, then sometimes they'll delete your account.
Yeah, sure.
The point where you always have to use your real name, that's the point that I find the scariest, because one of the ways I combat the internet thing is I've got 4 or 5 separate identities that I play with, and then I'm just myself under my real name. But anytime I go into anything that's not my Facebook, I use a fake name.
Well, you want to hear? So there's this book. You guys might have heard of it. It's The New Digital Age.
I've heard of it.
It's by a guy, like a big guy, a couple big guys at like Google or something, and they were talking about the way that that's going to be enforced is that, okay, so like once it gets to the point where there's not, the big news organizations aren't as powerful. Like there's already like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Vice, but they started off on the internet. They were like a hipster magazine, and it was sensationalism, but now they're like on HBO, blah blah blah. So like once the source of the news and the information is more like individual, then people are going to trust more stuff that's more credible. And when you go to a job, they're going to look, they already look at your Facebook and all that, but they're going to want to validate everything. So if you're not validatable, then you're not going to be able to get a job, because they're going to want to have that information. And then if they're like, oh, well, there's nothing about you on the internet, so we can't trust you, because everybody else applying for this job has a good profile or good information, because that's going to be part of the process.
And that's already coming into play too, as far as like employers will check, Facebook and LinkedIn and.
Oh yeah, if you don't have a Facebook, sometimes they think that's weird.
Yeah. They're like, whoa.
Or if you have your Facebook too locked down, they'll be like,
apparently it's a thing now where some they're requiring some applicants to provide passwords, and they will log
That's
into your
been shown
Facebook and look at
unconstitutional
it.
because it forces you to break your legal
Yeah,
contract with
yeah,
another
but there's
company.
still places that try it. They, you know, a lot of times.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that-
not
law.
surrender, right? Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, if a place wants your Facebook password, that should be your first red flag.
That's
That's
yeah,
not where
right.
you wanna work.
The problem is though is that some depending on your socioeconomic status, like just because it's a red flag,
Like, if
I mean
you're
you
not
still need a
informed of
job,
that
right?
rule.
Like it's
Yeah, and
I
that's
don't
where the
know. I mean,
oppression
so
comes
far I
in.
haven't yet even been able. Like, I've managed to find jobs that haven't even drug tested me. So far, it's still.
well, you do live in
I-
Portland, so
I've